Another great recipe coming up today from what is quickly becoming my favorite canning book. This is Angie Schneider's Pressure Canning for Beginners and Beyond. We've done several of the beef recipes from here. We've done baked beans from here. I'm going to do a chicken. I don't have and haven't had in years any teriyaki chicken on my shelf. So we're going to do the teriyaki chicken today, and I'm pretty excited about it. Welcome to Garb Reserve. I'm Carter. I'm so glad you're here today. Let's get started. So I have my jars in the canner heating up because this is going to be a hot pack recipe. You know me, normally I would just mix it all together, cold pack, and throw it in there. But we're going to do it her way this time. She's the one with the cookbook, right? All right, we're going to start with 1 cup of soy sauce. I may be a little bit shy on this, and if so, I'll back it up with some coconut aminos. Let's see what we have. Splatters. Okay, a little bit shy on that. We'll fill it in here. This recipe also calls for mirin, which is a very sweet Asian style cooking wine. I don't have any of that. It says I can use white wine. It just won't be as sweet, which is fine with me. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. Actually, the coconut aminos will add a little bit of sweetness as well. Okay, so I'm going to put this in. And rice vinegar. I'm just using up all my partial jars today. So we'll use this, and then I'll have to open another one. Well, maybe not, just a 1/4 cup. No, we're going to be good. Okay. 1/4 cup of rice vinegar. 6 tablespoons of honey. I'm just going to kind of eyeball this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. It's a pretty little design in the bottom. And 6 tablespoons of mirin. So, as I just told you, I'm going to use just white wine instead. 6 tablespoons. Woo, that one went over. 5, 6. Okay. All right, so we need 2/3 cup of brown sugar. As you all know, I tend to use allulose instead, but use brown sugar, it's absolutely fine. Use sugar, you know, regular white sugar and blackstrap molasses to turn it into brown sugar. You could use honey, whatever suits you is just fine. As long as it is heat stable, okay? All right, so I need how much of this? 2/3 cup of brown sugar. So I'm going to do, that's a 1/3 cup measurement, 2/3 cup measurement, and a little bit of blackstrap molasses. I can get it off. We'll just make the brown sugar right there in the pot. All right, let's get the spices done before I do the sesame oil. That way my teaspoon stays dry. So we'll do, salt is 2 teaspoons of non-iodized salt. Okay. And garlic powder, let's see, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. 2 teaspoons. And I think it's 2 teaspoons of ground ginger as well. 1. I'm going to go a little heavy-handed on the ground ginger because I really like it. If you didn't like ginger, you could leave it out. Okay, now we'll get to the sesame oil. I need 4 teaspoons of toasted sesame oil. 1, 2, 3, 4. It smells so good in here. I'd make a dipping sauce out of this, although I'd want to add some lime juice, make it really good. All right, I'm going to put this on the stove, let it boil for 5 minutes, and then we're going to add the chicken. The chicken I have already diced up. This is 5 pounds cut into 1-inch cubes, and we're going to put that in the hot liquid for another 5 minutes. So I'll bring you over to the stove and we'll get going with this part and then we'll char it up. And it was that easy. I mean, that was truly so simple. All right, I'll meet you at the stove. Our sauce has been boiling for 5 minutes, so let's start getting the chicken in. Before I put this raw chicken in here, I tasted the sauce. It is so tasty. I'm excited about having this on the shelf. So I will most likely serve it on top of rice or cauliflower rice, some peppers and onions. Oh, it'll be fantastic. So I'm going to bring this back up to a boil and let it go for 5 minutes again. This is going to make 6 pints, she says. So this is 5 pounds of chicken, if I forgot to say that before. All right, let's get those under the sauce. Bring it up to a boil. We'll let it go for 5 minutes, and then we'll turn the heat off and get it into the jars. The canner has beeped to tell me that the jars are hot and ready to go, and that I need to get my act together. So we'll be back and do that in a second. All right, so this is boiled for 5 minutes now, and we are ready to can. She says to add the chicken to the jars first, and then come back and add the sauce. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring you down so you can focus on this process rather than on me. I'm going to get all the jars out of the canner. They have been heating up. They are smoking hot here. I want to load them all at once so that I get equal amounts of chicken and sauce in them the best that I can. Get these loaded. Okay, for just the chicken first. I do sometimes run out of liquid with her recipes. I did not yesterday when I did the street tacos. It was just fine. She says in this one, if you run out, just to add some hot water or some hot chicken broth. I don't have any hot chicken broth, so I'll just use water. I think I have another full pint. I'm just going to dip it in the hot water. Okay. I'm going to add my 7th pint, because I have so much leftover chicken. Okay, that's it for chicken. Now, the good news is that my canner can hold 7 wide mouth pints of chicken. I could not be pulling out the other canner. This is going to be fine. All right, now let's put this in a measuring cup so I can pour it. This is going to be significantly easier. If I weren't pouring half of it on the counter, it would be better. Let's debubble, see where we are. I'm going to end up adding some water. Make sure we have enough liquid in each of these. I think my chicken level is quite good for the 1 1/4 inch. This one may be a little low. All right, I'm going to divide this out, and then we'll add some water where necessary. Okay, so a little bit of hot water, bring us up to 1 1/4 inch. Alright, you know that canning is messy business, right? Particularly with me. Alright, I'm going to clean the rims. So I have honey and sweetener in here. So I don't want anything sticky in my rims. I don't want any pieces of chicken sitting there. I don't want anything on my rims that could keep it from sealing. It smells way too good. I have added a dollop, whatever you want to call it, of white vinegar to my canner, which I did not have to do when we lived in Atlanta. You do it for hard water to prevent the kind of white, filmy, chalky stuff on the outside of the jars. I didn't have to do it in Atlanta, but I do have to do it here. So it's one of those things that I don't always remember to do, but I did it today. Okay, so I'm going to end up with 7 pints, so that was even better than I expected. 5 pounds of chicken, 7 pints, which means David and I, we can split one of these pints. Add some vegetables, add some rice or some cauliflower rice. So that's 7 meals that we have on the shelf today. And it was so easy. I think often people think that water bath canning, should be the first step. That's the simple one. But I find pressure canning to be significantly easier than water bath canning, and just there aren't so many steps. Okay, we have 7 pints ready to go into the canner. Let me show you a jar. If you've been canning any length of time, you know that food that goes in reasonably cooked comes out as a better looking jar than food that goes in raw. Particularly chicken. There's a reason they call it ugly chicken when you raw pack chicken. I think this is going to be, it's going to be pretty. It's going to be brown, but it's going to be reasonably pretty. It won't all be stuck to the side of the jar. So I'm going to get these in. They're going to go for 75 minutes. And I will bring you back when it's time to take them out. All right, I can't tell you how this tastes yet, but it smells incredible. So I am so pleased. Ooh, it looks pretty. It's brown. Yes, it's brown, but it actually looks nice in the jar. Okay, I think this is going to be a winner. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you'll come back and see me next time. And I always love having you here. Please like, share, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. Whatever you feel like doing. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.